Dear students, welcome to this JIGYASA-ATL webinar series. I am Dr. Pooja from CSIO Chandigarh. Welcome all the students, ATL students, KTS, NVS and other students who are with us on this. I request students to kindly mute themselves to avoid echo during the session. And today with us, we have to speak on a very interesting topic, Dr. Niti Kumar. The topic is career opportunities in science. So we have several concerns what to do if we are into the field of science, what are different career options, is it only just engineering or medical field, or there are any other possible options. So for this particular concern, Dr. Niti will speak today. So let me take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Niti. Dr. Niti, she is working as an independent group leader in CSIR CDRI Lucknow. Her group is trying to understand the biology of malaria parasite and explore alternative drug target for malaria intervention. She is also involved in anti-malarial drug screening for identification of molecules effective against drug-resistant malaria. She is a recipient of various national and international fellowships such as Innovation Young Biotechnologist Award, Ramalingam Fellowship, INSA Young Scientist Award, EMBO Postdoctoral and Marie Curie Fellowship. So with this brief introduction, I welcome you, Niti. And I also would like to inform students, if you have any question related to today's topic, you can put in your chat box in WebEx platform as well as YouTube. I'll take up your question with the speaker after her talk. So welcome, Niti. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja. And good afternoon to all the dear students. It's such a pleasure to interact with young students, the ignited minds, because we learn a lot from students from their curious questions. So in today's presentation, as Pooja has mentioned, that it is a very important topic, career opportunities in science. Um, as we all know, that science is very important part of our life. In our day-to-day life, we use a lot of contributions to which are based on scientific inventions and scientific discovery. But have you ever thought that what is happening in nowadays is that the interest in science as well as the number of students pursuing or studying science is declining? Just to tell you that how you can use study science and have career in science, and I will give you a glimpse of the exciting world of science and why study science in school and what are the career opportunities. um, so almost 23 years ago, when I was a student, maybe studying in class 12, class 9, I had a lot of questions. Can you guys hear me? Samuel Biswas, can you please?
Yeah, Niti, there's some background noises coming, otherwise we can hear.
I'm from North.
Yes. Yeah. Niti, can you hear us? Yes, Dr. Niti.
Yes.
Some background noise coming from one end. So, students, if it is at your end, kindly mute yourself. Otherwise, no one will be able to hear. Yeah, Niti, you can continue. Niti? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, today students see some technical issue. We'll just resolve it. Yeah, Dr. Niti, some background noise is coming at your end. Yeah, Dr. Niti, can you speak now? I think you can keep your video off. Probably it's a low signal issue. Yes,
Hello.
yes, Dr. Niti.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Niti, you can speak. You can switch off your video. Some, I think, probably a signal issue is there. That's why a lot of background noise is coming.
Yeah, you have switched off my video.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So when I was a student, when
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
was
continue. I will take a
Hello.
control here. You can continue.
when I was a student of class 9, so there were questions that used to come in my mind that I like science,
Ma'am.
but
Yeah, Niti, continue. I will take control here.
Ma'am.
okay.
Yeah, dear student, kindly don't intervene in between. Yeah, Niti, continue. This will be
Okay.
there. You have to
Okay.
Hello.
listen.
Ma'am.
Good.
Hello.
So, when we are studying science and we have to make decisions that whether we want to continue in
Hello,
science,
ma'am. Hello.
so that time we come across with so many questions that can science offer us good science career options or not? I like science, but I don't want to pursue science. Or there are certain group of students who don't like science and they do not want to study science subjects. But the main dilemma that we always had was, will career in science offer employment and growth? So the career choices we had many years ago, maybe 25 years ago or 30 years ago, was that we finish our 10th standard, 12th standard, and we sit for entrance exams for MBBS and engineering. And if we do not crack these MBBS or engineering exams, we just go to the conventional path, which is BSc, then do MSc, or we do PhD. And after PhD, we go for university teaching. We work as lecturers or professors, or we work as research scientists in research institutes or industries. So there are different exit points after BSc or MSc. But if you look
Hello.
at but if we look at the current employment scenario, the situation is very different. The sad part is, the alarming part is, the sizable population which is employable in India is decreasing. According to the survey done by UNICEF, it is only 47% of our population has appropriate skill sets, and 47% only 47% would be employable by 2030. There is a huge mismatch between the skills required and the job roles. And sometimes, there is a mad rush to get into career fields which are already overcrowded. Many a times we see a lot of students appearing for or opting for careers which are already overcrowded. For example, India is producing maybe 50 times more of IT engineers than it can absorb. So naturally, in that IT field, you might get overcrowding, over competition, and which would lead to unemployment. Similarly, there's a disconnect between the practical and theoretical knowledge. And sometimes when we have certain skills, we do not upgrade ourselves. So a constant upskilling is required depending on the market trends and needs. Now, depending on this current employment landscape, wherein we find that the students or young students do not make correct career choices, or they do not have the correct skill sets which is required to have a employment. So under these categories where the current employment landscape is so dynamic,
Okay.
what has science to offer us?
Oh,
Why studying science in school is very important?
okay.
You might agree with
Okay.
me, and there are a lot of research which has shown that the science subjects that are taught in school, they help in improving memory, judgment, attention, intelligence. They also help in complex problem solving, critical thinking,
I want to say
creativity,
some.
quick learner, or teamwork. And if you see what is the fundamental framework of studying science is that what is taught to us, that we make observations, we analyze those observations and then interpret it. We encourage the science students are encouraged to ask curiosity driven questions, and then we learn from these curiosity driven questions. We keep our mind open, we are unbiased, search for evidences, and then we debate, we agree and disagree depending on the facts. These are the actual trainings which are actually required to build up a personality for any professional challenge. Now if you look into the current dynamic employment landscape, the employers are looking for people who are polymaths. Polymaths is nothing but a person has a typical combination of two or more skills, and because of this, they have a competitive edge upon they have a competitive edge over other fellow mates. And I'll just give you an example of a polymath. A polymath, Marie Curie was a polymath. She got Nobel Prize both in physics and chemistry. Leonardo da Vinci, he was a polymath, an Italian polymath who skilled in various streams of science. And if we talk about contemporary people, it is Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. He is also considered polymath. So it is very, very important that we upskill ourselves, we develop quick learning
Hello.
attitude and have critical thinking and problem solving capabilities, and these are which are developed by studying mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. So science is very important to chisel or to develop good personality or good traits which are very, very important in improving our employment abilities.
Hello.
So looking at what career choices today's student have, during our times we neither had exposure nor had so much of choices to make. However, current students have a lot of career choices. They have career choices of choosing different combinations of subjects, both at 10 plus 2 levels and even at BSc and MSc level. And there are other choices that once if you have gone into MBBS and engineering, and if you're still interested in doing research, you can get back into research through the PhD programs. So let's look at what I'm just giving you example of some of the choices. For example, if you study physics, mathematics, economics, you can be a econophysicist. And where is it required? It is required in policy making, predicting stock exchanges. It is required for insurance companies. And the other subjects that if you study is physics, mathematics, sociology, computer science. That comes under the category of sociophysics. And this is an upcoming field because it is very much required for predicting crowd behavior, data analysis, cyber security, and also there is a combinations of physics, mathematics, geology, computer science in, and this in under one umbrella it is called the geophysics, and all
Hi.
the Google Maps, the weather forecast, it comes under this umbrella. And if you integrate physics, biology, and chemistry to understand various biological processes, it comes under the biophysics, biochemistry umbrella. And this is, there is niche for employment under research, medical devices, pharmaceutical or biotech industries. And there's another field for chemical ecology. So people who are students who are interested in chemistry, ecology, and geography, they can improve their concepts. And there is a lot of employment scope in wildlife conservation, surveys, and policy makings. And and the other subject which is not taken up by many students is anthropology, which is a combination where you study biology, geography, history. And anthropology, the study, a lot of students who have studied anthropology, or people, students who prepare for civil exams, so a lot of administrators and translators, they have major in anthropology. Major subjects are the combination of science, geography, and history subjects. I believe all these things, these are these different subjects, which open up or widen your perspective. They increase your knowledge. You're able to connect different fields. And if you want to be a good administrator, if you want to be a chief medical officer of a area, or if you want to be in the forest officer, or a foreign reserve officer, or a revenue officer, if you want to go into administrative services, you need the background of science. You need to study science subjects so that you are able to understand the problems properly and find out a solution. So, besides, the MBBS and the engineering section, there is also a career transition that students can think or opt even after completing their medicine, or after completing their BTech degrees. So if the doctors are interested in research, they can become a research scientist. We need a lot of clinicians in the field of research. There can be epidemiologist, as you know, that with this pandemic going on, it is very, we India does not have too many epidemiologists who can understand the progress of disease, who can understand the predictions, that how much population would get infected, what would be the herd immunity. So these are the different things that an epidemiologist studies and understands. And clinical pharmacology. So there are no drugs for COVID right now. So we need to conduct a lot of clinical trials. We need clinical pharmacologists who can conduct a trial for a drug. You cannot give a drug to the population. There has to be certain protocols which have to be followed, a phase one, a phase two, a phase three clinical trial. And for that, we need help of clinical pharmacologists. So even after doing completing MBBS, students have an opportunity to change their field and make a transition and learn and contribute to a new field. Similarly, for engineers, they can get into biomedical devices, metallurgy, aerospace, or biomechanics. So there is a lot of permutation combination which can be tried, which can be pursued depending on the interest of the student. And there are a lot of scholarships and opportunities nowadays for students. There are fellowships by Department of Science and Technology, ISRO, and CSIR. And a lot of institutes, research institutes, they conduct
Hello.
outreach programs. They conduct science quizzes,
Hello.
science
Hello.
awareness programs, wherein the students, they get the opportunity to interact with scientists, to interact with the with the to see the research environment and look for opportunities of having career in science. So I will just walk you through different lucrative careers. Nowadays students are more attracted towards glamorous careers. They want quick returns, but the careers which give you quick returns are short-lived careers. But there are certain careers which may take time to give you returns, but they are more satisfying. They have long-term benefits, and they also help you grow intellectually, and they also help you grow personally. So, for example, students who are interested in writing, students who are
Generalism, yes.
so science journalism is something which is very much upcoming. As you know that science is very, very important to be communicated to the common man. So science journalists, they act as a communication bridge between the scientist and the common man. They help to discuss scientific theories and debates. They help to bust myths. So when coronavirus came, there were so many, or in general, there are a lot of myths in the society or pseudo scientific views.
What
So
is
here, science journalism helps in educating the common man or clarifying the myths, you know and providing them the facts. So there are science and technology sections in various national and regional newspapers. There are science blogs. There are international and national science magazines. For example, for example, Dreams 2047 is a magazine which is published by Department of Science and Technology. This is a magazine which is bilingual. It is both in English as well as in Hindi. And there are other blogs by this is India Bioscience, the Dialogue, the Science Wire. These are different blogs which gives you an opportunity to read about the new discoveries. They also give you an employment opportunity of freelancing. And I would just like to draw your attention to this Alt News. This is a fact checking news portal, and they have a science wing also. And just for your information, the editor of Science, Dr. Soumya Sheikh, she is a neuroscientist, and she has also written books. She's an author, she's a neuroscientist, and she's a science editor. So this gives you an opportunity to have creative employment strategies, and still do things which you are passionate about. Besides this, there are science documentaries and educational resources as well. I mean, people who are interested in filmmaking, there are science filmmakers. So for that, you need knowledge about science. There are science advertisement both by government as well as private institutions, awareness programs on malnutrition, TB, COVID-19 pandemic. All this requires students of science background, so that they can include their knowledge about science and include their creativity to make documentaries. When I was a student, I mean, people of my age, we grew up seeing Turning Point. The Turning Point was a serial by Professor Yashpal. There was only one science serial. But nowadays the students have a lot of opportunities to upgrade, to know about a lot of things. And so there's a news. This is a science channel, exclusively science channel, like DD Science. This is in collaboration with DD Science, started by Department of Science and Technology, India Science Channel. Then there are Discovery Channel and National Geographic channels. They all need people from science background to make documentaries, to have debates, to have wildlife photographs. And with now online session becoming very popular, so physical classes boundaries have collapsed, and there are a lot of online educational resource, and for these we need a lot of people with understanding. And this is just to show how DNA is packed inside the cell, and this is the chromosome, this is the double helix DNA, and it is transcribed and translated into
DNA? Easy
proteins.
word.
Yeah. So all these requires people with science background who can who can contribute into 3D animations, who can make educational videos, so and participate in science documentaries. So the other branch wherein science is intersecting is the science and law field, and scientists need
Ma'am,
lawyers. Scientists needs lawyers, and lawyers are required so that they can help in protection of idea, protection of data, protection of your invention or discovery or technology. So this is well depicted in this cartoon. As you can see, the boss is telling his employee, before you leave, we have to do a brain scan to see if you are taking any intellectual property with you. So this cartoon by Ron Morgan shows that the intellectual property right, the IPR, the copyrights. This is such an important wing of any organization, that research organization, industries, offices, they hire people which take care of these copyright issues. And for example, you can see that Apple and Samsung had a 7-year legal fight on smartphone patents. Johnson and Johnson and Pfizer had a legal battle over arthritis drug. So there are this shows that IP sector, the intellectual property or the patent cell is very, very important. So they have legal battles not only in India, but the legal battles are fought in other countries also. So there are designated organizations which take care of these legal battles. And who are required here? People who have understanding of science, who have studied science, and they club with new field, that is law. So we need scientific lawyers to fight these battles. The other intersection that is very, very important is the art and science intersect. This art and science intersect is is uh, is very well evident from the historical times. I hope you people have heard about Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci is famous for his Mona Lisa portrait. But as you know that, as I have mentioned in my previous slide also, that Leonardo was a polymath. He was an Italian person who who had knowledge about science, sculpture, botany,
botany,
mathematics,
mechanisms,
and he understood the intersection between art and science and excelled in
Yeah,
both.
art and
Dr. Niti,
science.
your presentation is not visible. Can you share again? Yeah, Dr. Niti, are you there?
The class finished.
Yeah, students, kindly put your question. There is some technical error. Dr. Niti will be joining shortly. And I request you again, don't unmute yourself in between the lecture. It is creating problem for others. So you can put your question in the chat box. We will take all this question. I have picked up some of the questions mentioned by you. So just wait for a second by the time Dr. Niti joins.
Okay, ma'am. Better career options. Okay, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I unlocked the meeting. Yeah, yeah. Now you can join. Yes.
Mithun Subramonian.
How do I become a scientist?
Students, we are waiting for Dr. Niti to join. Kindly just wait for a few seconds.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Niti, now you are, we can see you. Can you share your screen again? Yeah, it's,
Okay, ma'am.
yes. So kindly make it full screen. Dr. Niti, kindly make it full screen. We can see your screen. Yeah, Dr. Niti, are you there? Seems, dear student, seems some technical issue. Let me just try to resolve it from Dr. Niti end. Yeah, Dr. Niti, you are muted. Kindly unmute yourself.
Voice is not audible.
Yes, Dr. Niti, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Can you
yes.
hear me now, Pooja?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Can you make it full screen now?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible, but it is not. Yeah, now it is in full screen. Yes, please go ahead.
Voice is not audible.
Yeah, it is coming. Dr. Niti, you can speak now.
Yes. So I was talking about the art and science intersect. In the previous slide, I spoke about science journalism. I spoke about science and law, and
Wadikar.
in this slide, I just wanted to inform the students that this is also a field wherein a lot of people who have the flair of expressing through colors. So few people have the flair to express through words, and some of the students have flair to express through colors. So art and science, they do intersect. For example, a scientist and the artist both explore the world, and once they explore the world, they try to express it in different forms. So this is a beautiful portray a scientific description. As you can see here, at the extreme left, it shows the DNA, it shows the family genetics. Whereas in the middle figure, you will find the tumors which are in different tissues. And on the right hand side, you would find that there's a neuron, a beautiful neuron, which is passing the message through the synapse. So this is one of the way that a lot of people who are interested in science as well as in arts, they get involved into the scientific illustrations. So there are a lot of media houses, there are science journals who are and even research organizations who are hiring these students, the students who are interested in art and science. So there are some opportunities of employment in this area as well. So I will quickly close the presentation by this slide. This is a very, very important slide. As you can see that I've quoted Marie Curie. Marie Curie is, as I said, she was given the Nobel Prize 2 times, and recently, in this week, there would be a movie on Marie Curie's life and contributions on Netflix that is called Radioactive. So it's so this is a very important and very courageous quote. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand so that we may fear less. So this basically implies that it is very, very important that we understand the scenario. We understand, we don't go by hearsay, understand the scenario, try to gather information, try to gather knowledge, get your concepts clear, and then you would be very, very confident in your personality, because if your concepts are clear, you can say things with confidence. And here I have given you the photos of people from diverse background. For example, we'll start with David Attenborough. He is 94 years old, BBC correspondent, and a very, very inspiring science communicator. And he was the one who brought wildlife to he was the one who brought wildlife to international recognition. Then we have Kiran Majumdar Shaw. She is an Indian entrepreneur. She was the first lady to study fermentation science, that is the brewing, the study of brewing malt and barley. And she started her company in a rented garage, and now her company is Biocon, a biopharmaceutical company which has international repute. Indra Nui, she's a graduate from Madras Christian College, and she rose up to the ladder to be the CEO of PepsiCo. And this is Angela Merkel. She's the chancellor of Germany since 2005. She's actually a PhD degree holder. Her PhD was in quantum chemistry. And l- look at that, science helps to develop critical thinking, complex solving problem. And Angela Merkel is able to administer Germany. She's been chancellor of Germany since last 15 years, and she's able to perform her administrative duties with the help of her scientific background. And of course there are certain glamorous professions also, and there are a lot of scientists who become rock stars, and these are the famous scientists who become rock stars, and they already have a PhD degree. So, what I want to say is that studying science in school is very important, and most of the students don't opt for science thinking that there is no money, there is no glamour, but that's not true. Science not only helps to improve your personality and thinking ability, but it also offers a lot of creative and lucrative career options. It's just that we are not aware of it, or it's just that we just don't want to follow unconventional career paths. In the previous slide I showed different permutation combinations of subjects which are available to study, but people are not ready to try those options because they don't want to explore their creativity, they don't want to follow their passion. So it is very important that we become aware that the wonderful world of science is very, very important, and science provides attractive careers, and the students are our messenger to improve the scientific temperament of our society. So science is not only important as a career, but science is important also as a culture. And with this I would like to close this session, and I would be happy to take questions. Pooja,
Uh,
over to you.
yeah. Can you just stop sharing your screen and then we can take questions?
Ayush
Yes.
Vardhan.
I request students to
Ayush
unmute
Vardhan Agam
themselves.
Yadav.
I request students not to unmute themselves. They can put their question in the chat box. I'll pick question from here. Yeah, Niti, can you please stop sharing your screen?
Yes, I have stopped
And
it.
yeah, and you can switch on.
Ayushvardhan.
Yeah, Niti. So the
Yes,
first question I am taking from here. So in between, I have to mute all. So to reply, you have to unmute yourself because that way I am
okay,
keeping control. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
So there is question regarding the theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. So is theoretical knowledge important or the practical knowledge is important in the field of science?
So first, the theoretical concept has to be clear, and then it is very, very important to even apply. So both are important. So most of the times, what students do is they just mug up facts. उन्होंने they just study the formulas and that's it. But they do not understand what is the basic principle behind the formula. Why, how a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus
Yeah, Niti, you have to unmute. There is some background noise coming. You just, because I muted everyone, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah. You're not audible to us, Niti. Niti, you are not audible to us. Yes.
yes. Yes. Can you hear me, Pooja?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. I think there's a 10 seconds, 20 seconds delay because of the internet connection. It's raining heavily in Lucknow.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
probably that is the reason. Yeah. So will
so
you were telling about the theoretical part and practical part. Kindly
yes.
continue.
Yes, so I was saying that it is very important that students first have their theoretical concepts clear because many a times they just mug up the facts. For example, a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. This is what we have learnt in school. But not many of us know that how this formula was deduced. So it's very important that once your theoretical knowledge is complete, please try to understand what behind that theoretical knowledge, how it can be.
Yes, Niti, I think there is some network issue at your end. Hello. Niti, can you hear me?
Voice?
Yes, Niti, can you hear me? Yes, Niti. Yeah,
Yes,
there is some
yes,
seems to be some network issue at your end. So there is one quick question I would put to you about the career option if one student take mathematics as well as biology.
yes. So
So what
that
are the career option for those students? Yeah.
the career options there are plenty because mathematics will take you in all the field and you will always have a upper edge because mathematics is required in all the fields so you can be into biostatistics because you have the idea of biology as well as mathematics. You can get into programming, you can get into a lot of algorithm writing, formula writing and programming pillars of science, and that can take you in any field that you want because you are studying both mathematics as well as and of course physics.
Hello.
Ma'am, guys, can I speak in Hindi?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Yes, please.
मैम मैं क्लास 9 का छात्र हूँ मैम. मैं टेक्निकल.
Your voice is breaking up. Could you please put your question in the chat box? So, Niti, we will go to the next question. The question is about how to enter in science journalism. You told about science journalism as a good option, but how
Yes.
to go for it?
So science journalism is a field of journalism. So you have to get into mass communication. You can get into mass communication. You can do a bachelor's degree in mass communication or a master's degree in mass communication. So this is a mass communication program that you have to get in.
Okay. So, coming to the next question, what are the career opportunities in astronomy? Hello. Yeah, Niti, can you hear the next question?
Mathematics.
The career opportunity in astrology, in field of astronomy. So, what is the basic qualification required for the astronomy? Niti, you are not again audible to us. Some issue is there.
Become a scientist.
Hello, Niti, are you there?
Ma'am, how do I become a scientist?
Yeah, we will take up this question. Kindly mute yourself. Once Dr. Niti is there, we'll take this question. So, Niti, the question was regarding the what are the basic qualification required for to go for a astronomy career option?
So for astronomy, physics and mathematics are the basic pillars. They have to take BSc in the bachelor's. They have to study BSc and MSc, and there are certain subjects also that they can take during their graduation. So there is a possibility, but they have to study physics and mathematics, and that has to be very, very strong. The students have to be very, very strong in physics and mathematics.
Okay, so there is a very general question. It is there in the mind of all students. How to become a scientist? What is required to be done to become a scientist?
First of all, they have to become a little scientist, a cool scientist. All of them are scientists. They have to just use their a scientist. A common man can also be a scientist if they are observant, if they ask questions, and if they try to find evidences to prove or disprove their hypothesis. And to become a scientist, as I showed in the slide, that they have to at least do PhD. And after BSc, MSc or BTech, MTech, they have to do PhD. So there's an entrance exam, all India level entrance exam. They have to clear that exam to get fellowship. So, there is a decent amount, good amount of fellowship that is given to pursue a PhD degree. And after their PhD degrees, they can get into industries as a research scientist, or they can become a lecturer or a university professor and do independent research. I mean, we have research groups, we have students, and we ask exciting questions in science. So for that, you have to first clear your 12th, finish your BSc, MSc, and then get into the PhD program. and upskill yourself. So that is how they can become scientists. But they are scientists in their daily lives also.
Yeah.
So if they promote scientific temperament in the society, they are scientists. They are contributing as a scientist.
Right. Niti, can you put some light on the career opportunity or the scope in field of agriculture? Like generally students go for medical doctor or engineering. You told several other options. What about agriculture side?
So agriculture got neglected a lot, but now because of lot of issues with the climate change and the food problem also, which is going to come in future, and lot of pest problems in the field in crop science. So they have to do graduation and post graduation in the field of agriculture or the plant science or crop science or botany, and these are pure subjects. Not many students are taking these pure subjects, pure basic subjects, and there is a huge lacuna in the field. We need good plant biologists. We need good agriculturists. So there are a lot of research institutes also in India which promote crop science research, and they have a lot of fellowships. So the students have to have their botany or plant science concepts clear. So they have to take the corresponding courses in their BSc and MSc to qualify to get into this agriculture science.
Right, Niti. There are two questions related to the connection between science and psychiatry and science and literature. Is there any like interlink between these two fields if somebody is willing to explore them?
Neuroscientists are there, neuropsychologists are there. They study human behavior. They study. So of course, you need background of science to get into this psychiatry thing. So I don't know if students are aware that if any new policy is done or any new technology is brought into existence, so a lot of market, how would people react to the technology? That is also a kind of studying human mind or studying consumer mind. And a lot of pharma companies, a lot of big companies, multinational companies actually do get they hire people to analyze the data or predict.
Right.
How would the consumers behave or respond to a new technology? So these are science and literature also. A lot of scientists write books. A lot of scientists have written beautiful books. They are authors. Like for example, the All Things science editor, Dr. Soumya Sheikh. She's a neuroscientist as well as an author. So they go hand in hand. It just depends. It gives lot of opportunity of freelancing to people, and people can pursue their hobbies and still earn money. So that is the beauty of these career options, that you can pursue a hobby. Pursuing a hobby is always expensive, but in this case, you pursue your hobby and still earn money. So that is what it makes it lucrative.
Yes. Yeah, Niti, there is question regarding becoming a marine biologist. Can you put some light on that? What is the basic education required to become a marine biologist?
They have to study zoology and marine aquatic life, and so I would just say that if students, so there is a lot of information available on internet. I would not be the best person to give all the details, but few things that I can really point out is that if you want to go in a particular field, you need to know which point can be your asset. For example, if you want to become a marine biologist, your zoology should be good. If you want to be an astronomer, your physics and mathematics have to be good. And of course, there are a lot of courses which a lot of universities are providing. There are a lot of national institutions as well as international institutions. Even online, there are a lot of courses which give you or educate you. So, but what is important is that you have to identify what is the basic subject that needs to be your strength. You have to be a polymath. You need to have one or two good subjects that have to be your strength, and then you have to add on to new skills to increase your employability.
Yeah, Niti. So now we will take last question about the biorobotics. Like medical students, they can enter into this field. What is the scope of this field, and is it a good option to go for?
Yeah, so engineering students would always get an advantage here. The engineering students who have studied engineering and have a biology understanding. So sometimes, when you take these unconventional paths or non-classical paths, there is you have to study more, right? Because MBBS करके डॉक्टर बना, but MBBS करके अगर biorobotics में आना है तो पढ़ाई ज़्यादा करनी पड़ेगी. You have to study more. So, and in that case, you have to, the engineers would get a better advantage because their training is like that. But then you have to just work hard and add on to your skills. Your physics and mathematics will be very good. And if it is good, your understanding is good, then you can, adapt to any field.
Yeah, so Niti, there is one very interesting question. I think I'm also a scientist, you are also a scientist. So there is a question regarding, is like becoming a scientist is a full-time job, or there is any other like time available for exploring other thing, or the point is the schedule of scientists is too tight, or how it is?
I have to say, I mean, it is a stressful job, but you enjoy the stress. Because, I have a webinar here and after this webinar, I have to rush for another presentation and a meeting, but you enjoy it because you meet new people, you learn from them. For example, I've been asked a lot of questions today and I could not give a complete answer. I will go back and do my homework so that next time I meet any student, I should be able to give them more details. So it is, I would say, it is stressful, but it is very satisfying. At the end of the day, I feel very happy that, I've utilized my day. I have learned something new. I have done something new. So that is the level of satisfaction and happiness I get. And when we interact with young students, we start feeling young. I feel like a ninth grader today because I have a lot of students from 9th and 10th have joined.
Yeah, yes. Okay, Niti, thank you so much for being with us and giving light on very new disciplines as a career option in science besides the conventional career options, like the new things you told about the science journalism, and they are very good option for the engineers and doctors beside going for just MBBS, and creative art, writing. These are very good other options which I think would benefit our viewers, our students to explore further. And besides all technical problem, you somehow could manage to answer all the questions. I would like to tell the students that Dr. Niti is answering on the mobile phone, and that is being broadcasted onto this WebEx platform. So thank you so much for everything. I also thank all our students for being with us and putting up the questions. And we will meet again under this webinar series on next week on Monday itself at same time. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Niti. Thank you.
Yeah, and if students want to write to me, they can write to me and ask their questions.
Surely, I will share your contact detail with the students so that they can put question directly to you. Thank you, Niti.
Yes. Thank you very much.